The entire body of Dye Communications and AIT wishes to congratulate the Osasu Show on its 3rd year anniversary. Since March 10, 2015, the Osasu Show has established itself as the voice of the voiceless and the #1 ranked independent program for reliable, timely, and breaking news in politics and sustainable development across Africa.
Last week we did a sales subsidy. Me as I tell like this, I don't know what in be subsidy. Now leg now a businessman now leg now how do you come market.
My name is Peter. Peter the Rock. When you fall on the rock, you break. When the rock falls on you, you shatter.
You lie, you die.
We are in Accra, Ghana.
We are in Nairobi, Kenya.
We are at Adagbo community in Agatu local government area of Benue State.
The Osasu Show, bridging the gap. Congratulations to us and many more years.
Welcome to the Osasu Show. I am so happy that you have decided to join me on this journey, and I hope that you are able to pick up little sentiments and educative materials along the way. As a child, I read so many books about great men and women in various fields, from politics to entrepreneurship, to leadership and even sports. I learned two major lessons from their stories. First is their sacrifice and courage. A great man once said, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone." I personally found this to be true because I had to give up a seemingly conventional life to venture into one where I could possibly blaze a trail.
The Osasu Show Foundation is driven by setting core beliefs and values. Education is one of them. It is the only way to empower the children. They are our progeny. A child who thirsts for education and knowledge but does not receive it is a heartbreaking loss to our future. But a community of children who cannot access education foretells a future we cannot accept. So we do what we can to avoid this fate.
Yanzu me kike so ki zama in kin gama makaranta?
Ina so zama doctor. An gode Allah saka da alkhairi. Allah saka Osasu Show Foundation. Na gode Allah saka muku albarka. Ina son zama lawyer. Na gode Allah saka musu da alheri.
We are in the internally displaced camp in Area 1, Abuja.
I've always been passionate about giving back to our society. I've always been passionate about Nigeria as a country and us as a people. I've been passionate about giving back to the downtrodden, children and women in our society who I believe haven't necessarily lived a good lifestyle. My whole purpose and my whole passion has been to help them, enable them and empower them to achieve their purpose. I would describe humanitarian life as challenging, but at the same time very rewarding and fulfilling. There is no way you can give back to people and spend time with them and do what you can to empower them, and God wouldn't bless you in His own way. So humanitarian life, although it has its challenges because you can't help every single person that you would love to help, however, it's been very, very fulfilling and uplifting for me. I was younger, I would head to school and I would see children my age hawking food items on the street. During the day, this is like at 9 a.m. in the morning, you see children in the street selling stuff. So that really struck, something in me, and it lasted. It's a memory that lasted in me for a long time because it's just a picture that couldn't get out of my head. So I decided then and then when I was so young that I was going to do something. I didn't care how or whatever I became, a banker, a lawyer. I just knew that whatever platform God put me on, I would use that opportunity to impact the lives of these children and women. This is my purpose. This is the reason God has created Osasu. This is the reason He has brought me to earth, to impact the lives of people, to touch the lives of the downtrodden.
Like Esther Tanko here, she does charcoal business. She does charcoal business. So she gave Esther Tanko for a start. She gave her to start with 2 bags of charcoal and gave her money for transportation and everything. She calculated everything and gave it to her. And then the next person is Memuna. Memuna says she does groundnut oil business. She gave her the income for the groundnut oil business. Then Patience Barka as well. She says she does my business. She gave her the capital for my. Then Hadiza, then Esther Johanna. She all gave them the income to start the capital to start the business. We went to the market to buy everything. We didn't leave anything out. Even Maggi, we bought the Maggi for them, so as to encourage them to start the business.
I also learned that failure is a decision, because great people don't fail. They either succeed or learn. We all know the stories of J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter fame, Thomas Edison and the light bulb invention, or even our dear President Muhammadu Buhari. The lesson is, if one truly believes in a cause and is passionate enough to pursue it, quitting is never an option.
When you speak the truth, you die. When you lie, you die. So it's better to speak the truth and die. I may sound very unpopular this afternoon, but I will speak the truth. Apart from militocracy, politics is responsible for poverty and hunger in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we the leaders, myself inclusive, have failed this nation and have failed the younger generations. Myself inclusive. When I was a member of the House of Reps, I moved a motion that sons and daughters of all political office holders or all politically exposed persons, from councillor to president, should attend public school. That motion was not seconded.
People are talking of artificial intelligence. Other nations are talking of nanotechnology, of robotics engineering. Elon Musk is talking about constricting the journey from London to New York to 31 minutes. But unfortunately, the topical issue in Nigeria is restructuring. Restructuring my foot. To hell with restructuring. Let's improve on the quality of governance. Let's work for the people. Let's invest in education. Let's create jobs.
I aspire to be in a position where I could serve humanity. Most importantly, give a voice to the voiceless and the less privileged. That inspiration of mine was what led to my career path as a journalist and ultimately the birth of the Osasu Show.
You haven't given an interview in over a year, so I am very, very, very privileged and honored that you chose to come on the show today. You're the chairman of TAN. TAN is the Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. You guys have done a great job in highlighting the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan. What inspired you to start this organization?
Well, the organization was established to showcase the values that we all have around our vicinity, on our country, in our businesses, and so the other things. It's an NGO that cuts across different spans of life. But the most important thing is on the particular question you asked about our president is that we believe that he was highly undermarketed, and we took a decision that we should showcase his achievements to the world because there was so much that he has done which wasn't marketed at that particular point in time.
We are chatting with Chief Sergeant Awose. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Boko Haram is an issue for all Nigerians because if our brothers and sisters are being killed in the north, it affects us. It affects us in the south, it affects us in the east, you know, it affects us as a people. So what would you say about people's mental state? You know, people don't feel safe enough to hold, well, that's what the national security said. They said that it wasn't safe enough to hold an election right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I don't want to be driven into the argument of Boko Haram and election, but if I must say something, I will tell you this. Jonathan cannot be judged by the incident of Boko Haram, whether he gets Boko Haram removed from the country or whether he failed to remove it. He shouldn't be judged by that.
We're chatting with Igbinedion UK. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And what do you want to be remembered for when you leave this earth many years from now?
Yeah, I want to be remembered for one, which is very basic, that when I was given the opportunity to serve the people of the state, and at that time, the state was in comatose. The state was no longer like a state that our founding fathers struggled for its creation. And that while I was there was unity. It is important because what we have now is so much sharp ethnic divide that will take the state to nowhere. But I will be happy, I will have to be remembered that it was during my time that we lived as a people, that we didn't see anybody as being different. That, of course, will have to promote peace and development.
There were leaders of this country since 1960. And the leaders of this country since 1960 has been northerners substantially. How many has Buhari called to book? We remember the 12.5 billion windfall during the era of the Nigerian president. $12.5 billion, $12.5 billion in the era of a president from the north in this country. Nothing happened. I don't want to begin to mention names. You understand? In Yoruba land, they said, "Why are you walking like this?" He said, "If you look at the way my leg is from the ground, you know that I cannot walk better." Buhari has not bought new arms since he became president. So which ammunition is he using to fight Boko Haram now?
Honorable Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, thank you so much for joining us on today's program. But do you think you're kind of getting a taste of your own medicine in the sense that during the 2015 presidential campaigns, you also accused the likes of President Goodluck Jonathan?
If today people are returning money, shouldn't you praise me? Shouldn't Nigerians say, this man was right? I was the first Nigerian to get up and say, 1.7 trillion naira for oil subsidy. Is oil subsidy not an issue now? Oil subsidy that Goodluck Buhari left, Yaradua left at 300 billion naira. Oil subsidy that Obasanjo left at 200 billion naira. Goodluck's first 6 months in office, 1.7 billion naira, and you're happy?
Why isn't this the subsidy the APC government had removed the subsidy
Of course,
now?
because the corruption was too
But
high.
that was what they were trying to do before, when everyone was clamoring that the Goodluck Jonathan administration should not remove the subsidy.
Who was clamoring? Now, Nigerians are saying, oh, the Buhari's government is not managing the economy well. No? We ate our tomorrow, yesterday. That money we shared under Goodluck. Everybody had share. People were buying planes, helicopters. People were going on vacations. People were just, chopping money.
Chopping money. But
now there's no money to chop.
Your Excellency, but do you agree that there were accusations that you made during the campaign that were not necessarily founded?
Me?
Yes.
Anything I said, as chairman of government, I had evidence. Please blame those things. I had documents. I'm not saying, when I came out to say $49 billion, the first people I get that document to the American.
His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, Ojaja II, thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
Thank you very much.
We've talked about the population. 70% of people in Nigeria, 182 million strong population, are young people between the ages of 18 and 35. What can the government do to empower this youth, to ensure that the development that we need, the infrastructural deficit that we currently have, is met?
Why must it be government? Why?
Government sets the enabling environment, right?
Absolutely.
Without the enabling environment, business cannot thrive.
So who is government? Can you answer that question?
Well, the people we elect.
Thank you. It is the people that is behind government. The power is, if you are not happy with your president, you go for another election and you will vote your president out. If you're happy with your president, you will continue with that government for them to be in power. The truth be told, we Nigerians, we don't know our right yet. Our voting power, we don't know it yet. Until we know it, then we will stop complaining, especially the youths. Once we know it, we won't complain again.
Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Okize Victor Ekpeazu, welcome to today's program.
Thank you very much.
Can you talk to us more about some of those infrastructure projects and how you've been able to boost your internally generated revenue?
Oh yes, starting from infrastructure, we crafted for ourselves a clear plan about how we wanted to develop Abia. And this plan was predicated on a deep study about the things we could do in Abia that other people cannot do properly or cannot do better than us, Abia, you know. So we wanted to do something about our trade and commerce, our industrialization, small-scale manufacturing, our tailoring, shooting, our agriculture, and all that, our oil and gas. We deliberately put oil and gas number 5 because we knew that the oil economy was going to be replaced by something else, maybe in the next 10 years. You know, so in doing that, we said, well, you need enablers to drive this, and road was key. We won't believe that in Abia State, since the inception, those who claim that they have done all this and that for Abia, no single flyover in Abia, except the one we are doing now. So we noticed that it will take you 4 hours to move from Osisioma Junction into the city center in Aba. So we needed to do an interchange so that those who were heading to Port Harcourt can go. Of course, before you go beyond Osisioma, you pass 2 other major markets along your way to Port Harcourt. So we needed to create this access. And people are very, very excited that somebody can even take up that kind of thing.
Dr. Bukola Saraki, thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
My pleasure.
So, the name of the book is On a Platter of Gold, How Jonathan Won and Lost Nigeria. If you could point to one key factor of how President Goodluck Jonathan lost the election in 2015, what would that be?
Well, it's difficult to point to one particular. I think there are many reasons why he lost the election. If he had, he probably, for example, would not have allowed some of us to have left the party. He will have done certain things against the fight against corruption early in the government. But I think he didn't do a number of those things because a few of the people who were close to him gave him the impression that all was good.
Your Excellency, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankoso, thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
The local government election in Kano State was just finished. We saw a high turnout of underage voters. What is the solution to stop underage voting, especially given the 2019 elections are in our horizon?
In all elections, there should be more than one party contesting. If you have more than one party, then party A will never allow party B to do any form of magu-magu, especially the issue of the people who are below 18. In 2019, if you go there, no child will go close to any ballot box or anywhere, because if you are coming to vote for a party, A, B will say, get out of this place. But those ones, I think they are invited to go and thumbprint, because the real people were not there. All the Concosia you mentioned didn't go there. The PDP wasn't there, and nobody was there.
My very last question, distinguished Senator, and I need a yes or no answer. Do you intend to run for president in 2019?
You can see from 91 to date now, I contested 16 elections, primary, secondary, 16 times. I won 14 and lost 2. Now, even the 2 are very important to me, because anybody who is in this game of politics who never contested an election or contested and only won or only lost, to us is not yet complete. We can't call it a complete politician. We keep on moving. When the time comes, we look at ourselves. If we realize there is need to contest election. Now I'm a senator, I'm a very happy and contented politician, and we are in a political party. As we are moving, I'm sure a decision will be made whether to contest, whether not to contest, whether to come back to Senate, whether to do anything. We'll come to that.
That's a fine place to leave it. Thank you so much for your time, distinguished Senator. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, thank you so much for joining us in today's program.
Thank you.
You've told the indigents of Benue State to sort of take law into their own hands by defending themselves. Do you believe that they can stand against this armed headsmen when it comes to if it comes to that?
Well, I think people are misquoting me and are trying to put words into my mouth, which is very wrong. I didn't tell my people to take arms against anyone. I didn't tell my people to seek for self-help. I told them to defend themselves.
What does that mean?
It is said that self-preservation is the first law of nature. You cannot just fold your arms and allow somebody to come and slaughter you. It is wrong. You must stand up. You must run away. You must hit back.
With what?
With your hands, with whatever you have, you can hit back. It is wrong. I don't believe in illegal weapons. I'm a man of rule of law and due process. That is what drove me to ensure that we enact this law.
We are at the IDP camp in Area 1, Abuja, Durumi. Your Royal Majesty, Elders, Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Peter State, Executive Governor of Abia State, Okezie Ekpeazu, Ho Inyentamwike, Senator George Akume, Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Minister of Transportation, Senator Matthew Orehide, Honorable Dakuku Peter Sites.
If not God by His grace, has been our guiding Nigeria.
All these people are there for heart, you know they see them. Some of them, if they bring budget now, the budget they look. Some they sleep. They're gonna ask how much you have on. I have it.
The Osasu Show, bridging the gap.